This is chapter 13, rational and irrational numbers. On this objective, we're going to distinguish between rational and irrational numbers. If you're revising, you can pause the video and have a go at questions 1 to 3. Okay, let's look at some definitions. A rational number is a number which can be written as a fraction, where the numerator and denominator are integers, whole numbers. So rational if it can be written as a fraction, where the top and bottom are whole numbers. Rational numbers include integers themselves, whole numbers, fractions, mixed numbers, which could be then fractions, terminating decimals, recurring decimals, the square roots of square numbers, and the cube root of cube numbers. So, for example, 7. 7 is a rational number. It behaves itself. A fraction, maybe like a quarter, that's rational. Mixed numbers, so maybe something like 2.5. That's also a rational number because it's 5 halves. Terminating decimal, something like maybe if you 0.2. That's a decimal, but it stops. It doesn't keep going on forever. That's rational because actually it can be written as a fraction. It's 1/5. Every terminating decimal can be written as a fraction, so every terminating decimal is rational. Now recurring decimals as well. If you had 0.3 recurring that goes on forever and ever, still can be written as a fraction. It's 1/3. So if it goes on forever and ever, it doesn't mean it's irrational. If it has a recurring decimal, as in there's a pattern to how it keeps going on forever and ever, it's rational. Now, quite often square roots are irrational, cube roots are irrational, but if you're square rooting 25, for example, you get 5, which is fine, it's rational. Or if you were cube rooting maybe 8, that's 2, that's rational as well. Okay, so not very helpful. Maybe you haven't got a full grasp of what rational is. Sometimes it's easier to see what the opposite is. What's an irrational number? An irrational number is a number which is not rational. Okay, is that helpful? Maybe not, but let's look at examples and we'll be clear. But if it's not rational, if it's irrational, it cannot be written as a fraction, where the numerator and denominators are integers. So this one, for example, the recurring decimal, it sort of behaves itself. There's a pattern to it that you can then put into a fraction because there's some behavior. But with an irrational number, there's no pattern that you can then get it into a fraction. So irrational numbers are quite often what we call surds. Square root of 2, square root of 7. I can put the square root of any number and it's irrational as long as it's not a square number itself. These, if you put in the calculator, you will get a big string of decimals. There's no pattern to it, and they will go on forever and ever with no pattern. You can't get it into a fraction. But they aren't always simply square roots or cube roots. I'll put another one, for example, a cube root of 11. Okay, but we have other types of irrational numbers. Some we'll not deal with here at GCSE, maybe more into A level. But the most common one you've maybe come across first, and maybe helps you understand irrational numbers the most, is pi. Pi is a number that goes on forever and ever. You can't write it as a fraction. It doesn't behave itself. So, they will be useful moving forward. Hopefully you know the difference now. If you can write a number as a fraction, it's rational. If you can't, it's irrational. Number 1. Which of the following equations gives an irrational solution? In this case, you sort of need to just solve them and you'll find out. So in the first one, I'll take 1 from both sides. 2x squared plus 1 is 51, so 2x squared would be worth 50. can divide both sides by 2 to get that x squared is 25. And then x is the square root of 25, which is 5. Now quite often when you see a squared, there's lots of times where the answer is going to then be a root. You might think it's irrational, but don't jump to that conclusion because we are rooting a square number, so we got a rational answer. On the next one, we've got 3x squared minus 2 is 7. So if we add 2 to both sides, 3x squared would be worth 9. 1x squared, we can divide by 3. So 9 divided by 3 is 3. So x squared is worth 3, and x would be the square root of 3. That's irrational. So which of the following gives an irrational solution? The answer is B. Okay, question 2. Write down an irrational number between 30 and 40. The best one, I think, maybe the simplest one with the least explanation would be, look at a pi. Now pi is not between 30 and 40, but it's 3.14. So if you times it by 10, that would be 31.4, and all the other numbers afterwards. It would definitely be between 30 and 40. And if pi is irrational, multiplying it by 10's going to make it, not going to make it rational, it's still going to stay irrational. So 10 pi would be your sort of textbook answer. Here's another approach though, which is useful. Look at the 30 and the 40 and square them. 30 squared would be 900, and 40 squared would be 1600. So if you square root 900, you would get 30. If you square root 1600, you would get 40. But what happens if you root a number in between? Well, there might be some numbers in between that can be rooted and give you whole numbers, like 31 squared, 31 squared, 32 squared. They would, whatever those numbers are, they would be able to be rooted, obviously. But if I just went one more than 900, if I said the square root of 901, that answer is bigger than 30, but that's not going to be a rational number. There's not going to be a number times by itself that can give you 901. Okay? You can choose other numbers as well, but be careful to make sure that actually they can't be rooted, because, as I say, whatever 31 squared is, if you pick that number, that would be unlucky. Pick 901 or 1599. They're safe bets. Okay, number 3, we've got to decide whether each of the values is rational or irrational. For those that are rational, write them in the form a over b. So really, we want to write them all in the form a over b, because that's proven that they're rational. And that's what you're basically doing in this question. If this here helps you, gives you a bit of a root. But if it didn't tell you that, that's what you want to do. 0.7, that is 7/10. So I know that's rational. Root 20, I could try, but I can't think of a fraction. There's no way that's going to work. Now this can be simplified. There's a square number inside that, which you'll learn about at a different date. But you can't write it as a fraction over a number over another number where they're both integers. So because I can't do it, it's irrational. Now this one here on face value looks irrational, got pi's in there. But if you divide the top by pi, divide the bottom by pi, you're left with 5/8. 5 over 8 is a fraction, where the numerator and denominator are integers. So that is actually rational. Here we've got a negative number, but negatives doesn't affect whether something is irrational or not. That is minus 5/3. That is rational. 0.3 recurring, I actually gave out an example earlier on, that's 1/3. So that's rational. And here we've got a cube root of a number. Usually that would be irrational, unless there's a number times by a whole number, or not even a whole number, a fractional number times by itself, and by itself again, that gives 64. And the answer to that actually is 4. 4 cubed is 64. So 4 can be written as a fraction. It's 4 wholes. So that's irrational. That is a rational number. If they asked you cube root of 65, it would be irrational, or cube root of 66, irrational. But you need to be careful with that.